knew I was gonna do it. So we're starting over.
Starting
We're
over.
starting
Okay.
over.
I'm glad you caught it now as opposed to like
Oh my
45
word.
minutes from
I
now.
know.
That would be
God,
so sad.
this is where we're starting right this moment, though, because we're gonna let everybody know this is the second time that I've done this in 150 episodes. So that's not too bad. That's we're
Yeah.
rolling at like 95% or something like that, I'd say.
You're like probably valedictorian of the class. Like that's a
Yes.
good grade to have.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's okay. Gibby's gonna
Graduating
give
with
me
honors.
Gibby's
Yeah.
gonna give me a lot of shit, but we're gonna start over with this. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? A podcast about life in the music industry. You know it. I'm Patrick. We got Brett. Super Gibby's out, but Brett's here, and that's awesome. And we're with Magdalene Rose, metal artist. Maggie,
Yay.
welcome again to the show.
I
And
feel
you're
like
in
we've been here
California.
before.
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah,
California, yeah. Getting all the good
California.
food.
Yes, that's where we're at when I realized I'm a dum dum. But once again, to be fair, and to the listeners and to Brett and Maggie, Gibby always does the recording. It has been many an episode since I've had to hit the record button. So Gibby takes the reins on that. So I'm only gonna take a little bit of heat. Like I caught it
Yeah.
quick. Caught it
There
quick.
you go. Yeah. That's what matters.
But yes, okay. Let's get to the nitty gritty now that we're back on track. You just released your new single, Teeth Eater, back in September. Tell us about the song. How's the response been for it?
Yeah, this song has been just awesome to not just like have out and play. 'Cause it's great to have new music because sometimes live shows can get a little repetitive when you don't have new music. So it's been fun to have new stuff to play, but also just the response from everybody has been so nice. And um yeah, it was a little bit of a scarier release for me because I've never released a song this vulnerable before.
Yeah.
Wrote it about a time when I was struggling with anorexia, and
Okay.
um yeah, I had talked about it a little bit online here and there, but I never
Sure.
really like talked about it. And I had just started to see a lot of people struggling online with some type of eating disorder. I'd seen a lot of different types of people talking about it. And I was like, okay, well, if this is something that I have healed from and nobody else is giving answers or talking about being healed from it, is this my place to say something? And I battled with it for a little bit because I was like, I don't want to talk about this. This is like people will know that I had issues.
Right.
But I kept seeing it online, and I felt like it was needed for people to know that there's hope, and healing is possible, recovery is possible. You don't have to be stuck in this cycle for the rest of your life because it does
Right.
very much feel that way when you're in the middle of it. And so we wrote the song, and then we had to release the song, and I had to like write the little blurb about the song and everything. And I was like, I don't know how to fit all of this into like 40 words or something because it is a very like deep and personal song. And
Yeah.
also for people who are struggling with eating disorders or body image insecurities, I wanted to do it justice so they would know that they weren't alone, and that it wasn't somebody writing something from like a disingenuous place of like, oh well, you can get better, but they've never struggled with it before. I
Mhm.
wanted them to know like, hey, I've been there, and life does get better. You can recover from this. And just being able to talk about it, you always think that you've fully healed from things, but then when you start talking about them and sharing your story and sharing hope to other people, you realize little beats like pieces of it that you've still held on to a little bit, and they start to heal even more. And so now it's like just not just seeing other people be empowered, but it's helping me and myself, just through this release of the song and everything. And it's been super cool. And we even had this guy named Jesse McGinty. He played saxophone on the song, which is really,
Yeah,
really
it
cool.
was awesome.
And I thought that would be super fun to have in like an already emotional song. I was like, we don't need a guitar solo, we need some saxophone in there.
Dude,
And
I'm loving this like saxophone and like the metal and like
it's so fun.
it's so awesome.
And it's crazy because um we met him after he played with Kelly Clarkson for her Vegas residency.
Dang.
And my husband, who is my drummer, he plays for a band called Seventh Day Slumber, and their bass player Ken, he got to play for Kelly Clarkson as well. And so he introduced us to the saxophone guy, and we're like, what in the world is going on? We are just some little metal band right now, and we have this like superstar pop star like saxophone player on one of our songs right now.
It's awesome.
And it's just awesome to see. Like, I love that there was saxophone in a metal song. I think that it's really fun. But just to see also just the response of people in the comment section, or when they come to like a live concert, just saying that they feel seen, and that it's helping push them to recover, or they already recovered and they're super honored that somebody else has talked about it, because it gives them a voice now too. And so it's just been awesome to see everybody come together through that. And
Yeah,
especially when it's kind of like an issue that is so isolating, now people are open and talking about it, and
right.
I'm just excited to see where it goes from here.
That's awesome. And I mean, like honestly, and just it's really brave of you to do that, to sing a song that is so personal. I mean, anytime a person writes a song about some sort of like trauma that they've faced in
Mm-hmm.
life, you know, it's brave. Yeah, it's hard to like be so vulnerable.
Yeah.
So like kudos to you for being able to do that, because not everybody can. And it's awesome that you wrote a song like not like this is also a topic that doesn't get the spotlight, especially not in music very
Yeah.
often. So having a song like this that people can gravitate to and be able to like, oh, like, so okay, I am not alone. Like this
Yeah.
is there are other people, like somebody sang about this, like this is for me.
Yeah.
So
And I think that was the biggest issue too, is because it's still one of those like icky topics where people
yeah.
don't want to talk about it because it makes them feel weird. But how do you expect people to get better if we're not talking about it? And I was like, okay, I guess I will be the one to talk about it.
Good. I'm glad you did. Oh shit, it happened again. Oh my gosh.
You all right
Oh,
there, bud?
oh. This happened actually the last interview too. My my chair became like I have it locked upright,
Mhm.
and it popped out. And so like I fell backwards. Man, it's two
That's all right. I
times
got
now.
I got my cat climbing on mine right now, like here and there, so we're all set.
It just almost gives me a heart attack though. I'm not even
Right.
like I'm not even like leaning back that far, you know?
One of these times, man.
I'm just
Oh,
trying to get a little back support.
yeah.
Right. That's so much to ask. um
I
so
guess.
about a year ago you released your EP, The Prelude. What are your plans releasing music moving forward? Are you planning on just doing singles? You working on an EP or a record? Like what's the game plan there?
So we have an entire album recorded, and we're
Okay.
just waiting
Ooh.
to finish getting some mixes back. Yeah, I'm with Rock Coast Records right now, and so they were talking about doing a few singles before we just drop the whole thing. And so
Yeah.
we're kind of in that in between moment right now where we've got one single out, we got to figure out which one we want to do next, and then we
Right.
got to hurry up and get the rest of them mixed and mastered, and so we can start on
Yep.
like artwork and stuff. So
Right.
we're very excited. We are almost there, but there's a
Very
lot of
cool.
new music, and I'm very excited for people to hear it.
Yeah. It's always a really exciting time, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
like just
the
waiting
adrenaline
for all the
rush.
ears to yep.
That's awesome. How many songs are you thinking for the album?
So there's gonna be 7 new songs,
Nice.
And then a couple interludes because I've never done that before.
Okay.
I was in another band called GFM with my two sisters, and we had, I think, like 5 EPs and 1 album, and like, we released a lot of music, and we had never done anything like an interlude before. And I was like, I
Yeah,
want to have something like that on my album. A lot of bands that I look up to have done that before, and I thought it was super cool. I never knew how to
absolutely.
do it, so I want to figure out how to do it on this one. And they came out so cool, so I'm very excited.
That's awesome. Super stoked to hear it. And since you brought that up, I guess I'll just hop right into that question. For those that may not know, you were also in a band called GFM,
Yeah.
which saw many accolades such as, multiple top 10 songs on the Billboard Christian rock charts and getting a personal tour invitation with future Wrestling Hall of Famer Chris Jericho. Like, what what made you want to strike out on your own as a solo artist?
It was actually a very, very like difficult decision that I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And we started GFM when I was, I think, like 11. And that was when
Wow.
we did our first shows. I was 11, and we did that all the way up until 2022. And so like almost 10 years, if not 11 years, was put into GFM, and we just done it for so long. We didn't really know what else was out there. And my sisters, they felt like it wasn't where they would need it to be anymore. And while they loved it, they just felt like it was time to see what else was out there, and they wanted to explore other avenues. Um,
Sure.
and so they made the first move, and then I was like, okay, so what do I do? Because I didn't want to, like, I don't know what to do now. And um, so then I called my husband's family because he plays with Seventh Day, and his
Yeah.
dad is the lead singer, and they have been in the industry for 25 years now.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Hot minute.
hey, I have no idea what to do. I still think I'm supposed to do music. I don't know what that looks like anymore. I don't know how to do music without my sisters. Like, I'm going to need lots of help. And they just took me under their wing, and it let me just crash at their place for a long time. They took me on my first tours as Magdalene Rose and just helped me figure out who I was as a person outside of the band. Um, because I had done that for so long, I didn't really have an identity outside of being a member of GFM.
Sure.
And so they're like,
Especially
let's
as you
figure
grow
out.
up that way.
Yeah. And I never, like, it was at that time, like, when you're trying to figure out who you are as a person, we were already touring. And so, like, we weren't in school, like a public school, we were doing online school. So everything was
Right.
online. We didn't really communicate with people that weren't on tour. And, it is very much like you don't have many options then to figure out who you are. and
Yeah.
and so that was their first thing whenever I started to tour as Magdalene Rose. It was, okay, let's figure out who Maggie is, and then we'll decide who she wants to be on stage. Like, because the person is more important than the performer. And I
Right.
was like, okay, I don't know. And so the whole process of learning, like, what I wanted to do, how I wanted to perform, what music I wanted to write. Because they're like, hey, this is a completely brand new thing. So there are no rules on
Yeah.
the music you release. Like, if you don't even want to do music anymore, you don't have to. Like, you can just hang out here and go on tour with us. Like, it'll be cool. And so it was a couple months of just me trying to figure that out. And we wrote Shark Spray, I think, in like January of 2023. And that was the first song that we put out in like March. And so I would do like little 2 week tours with them, and then have time back home to kind of like sit on it and say, is this actually what I want to do? And then I got to go out and just like hang out with them while they were touring with Chris Jericho's band Fozzy. And so that kind of helped me see, like, do I want to just like hang out on tour, or do I want to actually perform? And I definitely still felt like performing was my calling. And so they helped me figure out how to like put a show together and everything.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you're still doing it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and I was very, very worried that I wouldn't like either know how to do it by myself or wouldn't be able to do it, or just like emotionally I wouldn't be there anymore if it was on my own. And so it's been awesome to have people come and like support me as I go
Yeah.
and just help me figure that out.
I mean, just like figuring out who you are outside of a band as your band breaks up is difficult as it is. I can't even fathom what it would be like if my band was my family who I'd been doing it with since a preteen.
Yeah, and that's another hard thing because I never had to do life without my family.
Yeah.
And touring was always like, oh, I don't know why it's so hard for other people. My family's on the road with me.
This is
And then
awesome.
it's like, oh, now I understand why touring is hard because I don't have my family on with me on the road anymore. That is difficult. And
Yeah.
I had to learn how to call people and how to text people because I never had that issue before. And it just, there was a lot of learning like outside of doing music stuff. I had to learn how to have like a long distance relationship with family members as well because
Yeah.
I never had to do that before. And just a lot of changes. So it was a very like roller coaster of emotions time for me.
Yeah. I can only imagine. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
did I freeze for a second?
yeah, sorry, Pat. Your camera was like freaking
I
out. I
know.
wasn't sure.
Okay.
I thought you were
No, it's me.
disconnecting. I was like,
No.
are we good?
No, it's just it gets a little laggy sometimes.
Right. That'll happen. So you mentioned you're kind of on a little bit of a break right now, right? You're currently on tour with Disciple and Seventh Day Slumber, correct?
Yeah.
How's it been going so far? I mean, how the show's been, like, how's the, what's the energy been like?
It's been so crazy. You know, the shows have been like either sold out or like almost sold out. And when we play outside, like it's an entire park full of people. I've never seen a park
That's
filled with that
awesome.
many people before. And it's just so cool because a lot of them have never heard of me or seen me before. And they're like, oh, who is this girl? I just came to see Disciple, or I just came to see Seventh Day Slumber. And I don't know who this is, but they're willing to come early and watch me. I'm like, oh, that's super cool because
Right.
a lot of times people are like, I don't care about the opener. I'm just gonna watch the headliner.
Right.
And so
that can happen for sure.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And so it's awesome that the crowd shows up early and they're willing to stay early. And I've had the opportunity of meeting so many amazing people, and because this is like a Christian rock tour, the shows are all ages, which is always fun because
that's right.
Teens get to come and kids get to come. And
yeah,
I do tend to have a little bit of a younger fan base. And so sometimes when I play shows that are like at bars or venues that are 18 plus or 21 plus, sometimes a lot of people don't get to come. So this has been exciting where everybody gets to come, and it's an entire family, and then we get to take pictures with the entire family. Everyone wants to get matching t-shirts, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
Love it.
Awesome.
It's been crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you guys talk over me.
No, I was just gonna ask. I mean, is there anywhere you're looking forward to going to, like visiting, or anywhere that you've absolutely loved so far on this tour?
Yeah, I think it's just anywhere out west, and like specifically Pacific Northwest, because I've never played like a lot of shows there. I might have played like one or two, but I've never done like a tour out here. And so that was what I was most excited about doing. Like, oh, this is a whole new group of people. And, Seventh Day hasn't been up this way in a little bit either. And so there's a lot of people who want to see them from there, and a lot of people who want to see Disciple there. And so it's just everybody gets to come together. And I think that's also what's helping a lot of the crowds because everybody hasn't seen these bands for a long time. And so it's just been really, really cool. And it's so pretty up here. It's so different from what I'm used to being from Florida. And then now I'm in Nashville. And so, there's these huge mountains, and it looks like you're on Mars when we're in Utah. And then like in Washington and Idaho, like everything was super foggy and rainy, and there's these giant mountains, and it's so
Yeah.
pretty
Yep.
here.
Oh yeah. It definitely gets rainy up there. What I was gonna bring up is that I love that, like, and with it being like a Christian rock tour, like it being all ages, for
Mhm.
most of it obviously makes a lot of sense. And I wish there were, like, I just wish there were some, like, more all ages venues though for like all
Yeah,
bands, because you were talking about, like, um playing bars and stuff like that. I hate that we have to play bars now. I hate that, like,
yeah,
bars and stuff is
Yeah.
like the most normal thing, because it isolates the music's into, like, the bands from growing fans, and it also isolates, like, a local music scene from being
hmm
able to grow. Because when I started playing music when I was like 15 years old, well, where the hell am I supposed to play
yeah,
nowadays? Like,
Right.
there's no all ages venues. Where you want, like, people want new bands, and they want, like, for local scenes and stuff. They're like, well, there's no like high school bands. There's like no new bands. Where do you want them to play?
Right.
yeah,
How is somebody supposed to make a new band and be excited about being in a band in high school when you can't play anywhere?
Right.
yeah. And I think, especially when I was playing with GFM, a lot of times it was you get an X on your wrist and you have to stay
Yeah,
outside until
Yep.
you're allowed to come in and play. You can come in and play, and then you have to leave immediately.
Yep.
And
right.
it's hard to, you can't really talk to people, you can't hang out with people, your friends can't come because they're not allowed into the venue if you're not allowed in the venue. And it is hard. And I wish that there were more like either like theaters opening up and letting bands play, or even just like record shops used to have
Yeah.
artists. I
Mhm.
know we played a few of them, like the whole like city or block would shut down for like a music festival, and like record shops would open their place to have a band play, and we were allowed
Mhm.
to play those because they were all ages. And
Right.
I just wish there was more of that.
Yeah.
It does definitely kind of suck sometimes because
Yeah.
if I'm gonna play shows with bands that aren't like hosting them at churches or at like parks and stuff like that, there isn't really a lot of options for younger kids to come out because they're not allowed to go into the venue.
Right. And when I was, like, doing it in, like, probably like 15 years ago, 20 years ago or something like that, we used to play, like, there weren't a ton of all ages venues there either, but more people would put on shows like in church basements or in,
Yeah.
like, little town halls and shit like that. There was,
Hmm.
and like the church, like at that time, especially, like, churches were like, I don't care. I don't care what you guys, like, go for it. Like, and like you don't have to, like, abide by all the rules, just be respectful,
Hmm.
Like, if you swear, you swear, that's fine. You're in the basement, I don't care. You just
Right.
you do you, it doesn't matter, as long as you're respectful. And I don't see that a ton anymore,
Hmm.
unless you're in, like, a Christian rock band or some sort of Christian band.
Hmm.
I'm not, I wish there was more people putting those on, because some of my favorite shows I've ever had were in church basements. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they're just some of the freaking best, rowdiest, most fun shows I've ever had were in church basements.
Yeah. And it seems like it's not just with music, and that's the sucky thing. There's just not a lot of places where like teenagers and kids can really hang out as much
Yeah.
anymore. Like they're all
Right.
shutting down or just
Hmm.
becoming an adult space that doesn't let kids come in anymore. And like it sucks. And
Right.
especially like um now I am 23, so I can get into these 21 plus places, but
Yeah.
even then it's like there's not a lot of people my age that are able to go hang out either, because nobody that they're hanging out with is allowed to go into those venues.
Yeah.
Even if they're like 19 or something, they can't get in anymore. And it just, I wish there was more places where younger people could hang out. And I
Hmm.
think
Totally.
that's kind of part of an issue of, you know, that a lot of kids are having. They feel very isolated. They feel very excluded from a lot of things. They're dealing with a lot of mental struggles because they can't go do anything anymore. And they
Yeah.
can't just be kids anymore. And that's
Right.
also a sucky thing.
Yeah. I yeah.
Agreed.
So much. So much. As you know, adults with parents for both of us. Like I have like I have a teenager at home. Like go to Target.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
you want to go to the mall, walk around, because that's kind of it.
and I mean,
Right.
I used to do that all the time. That
Same.
was
But it's
like,
not
but
as
that
fun
it's not the
anymore.
same
No.
thing though. It's not
They don't
even
have
close.
Guitar Center in Walmart anymore. So what's the point in going?
Yeah,
You can't play Guitar Center at midnight with your friends at Walmart. But
And everything
yeah,
yeah,
closes so early.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like in there's like there were like in our mall like there were arcades.
Yeah.
There was stuff to do.
There was a Sam
Mhm.
Goody.
Oh my God, Sam Goody.
That
Yeah,
was the down. That was the like the beginning of the end when our Sam Goody when our Sam Goody at our local mall shut down. Right. I like it was like instantaneous. Like the mall itself just pretty much shut down and they bulldozed the whole thing within like the next like 5 or 10 years probably.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
because like no one went there anymore. That was like the big attraction, and people stopped
Yeah.
buying physical media like that, and all of a
yeah.
sudden, so now we can't go ball walking at the mall anymore.
Yeah.
But speaking of being youthful, right? What bands or artists made you want to be a musician?
Um, so Flyleaf was the like a huge, huge inspiration. Um, just because it was like, oh, a girl can do like metal music and scream. I've never heard of that before. And so she was one of my biggest inspirations, just growing up. And then I found a band called Broom the Horizon, and I was like, this is cool. What is this? And I got to see them in concert and just seeing how they interacted with people. And it was a festival called Welcome to Rockville in Florida. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yep.
what is this? This is so cool. Like, I saw them in Aspen Alexandria that year, and just seeing the way that the crowd interacted with them, how they could like just be themselves on stage, and it was this heavy music but everybody was so nice in the crowd. I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that right there. And there was also like recently, right before I started Magdalene Rose, a band called Stand Atlantic that I found, and it's
Nice.
just like
Yep.
another
So
like
good.
super tough
Very
chick
good.
on stage, and it's like, I want to be her.
They are a fantastic band.
So good.
They're so
Fantastic.
much fun. I have like had two opportunities to see them live, and I have missed it both
Oh no.
times. And it was like the most devastating thing ever that I didn't get to go see them. So I'm still have yet to see them live.
One of my favorite bands from back in the day, and um and my first introduction into like a woman doing like hardcore vocals was a also funny that with Chris Jericho was a band called the Walls of Jericho. Uh and gosh, if you haven't heard them, they're so good.
Yeah, I have
They
to
were
look them up. I don't know if I've heard of them before.
they I mean they're a hardcore band. They were like
Right.
metalcore.
Okay.
I remember them. I remember
Yeah.
them from back in the day. Back in my day.
Back in it was
Back in
they're
my day.
Back in
they're
my
a
day.
band where we would say back in my day for sure.
Right. Right.
Because like I think they were like 2001.
Yep. That sounds about right. Like that kind of same like era is almost as like Glassjaw and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I remember.
They came to Duluth and she was just wicked. She was awesome. So good.
Yeah.
Whole band was awesome.
I guess like I really the next question I would have for you is we kind of just talked about some of your influences and like what things that kind of push you to like start playing and get on stage and whatnot. If you could set up your own like dream tour package, right, like what would it be?
Um, I think it would for sure just have to be a lot of those bands. Like,
Right.
I would want to open that way I could watch the rest of them
Right.
and just have my part out of the way. but if I opened the show and then it would be like Stand Atlantic, Flyleaf, since they're doing their reunion stuff, which is
Yep.
super cool, and then like Bring the Horizon. I think that would
Right.
be my favorite thing ever
I
to
would
do a
I,
tour
I
like
would
that.
100% go to that. That would be an absolutely stacked lineup. That's the kind of show that would probably sell out in like a minute.
I
You
would
know?
I would love that would be my dream come
Yeah,
true.
That would be a pretty wild show.
it
Who
would.
would
Yeah.
you think would headline that one?
I think Bring the Horizon just because of all of their like stage stuff. I
Right.
haven't seen them since all of the like all this production stuff they've added, but just the videos that I've seen is the wildest stuff, like these giant like screen platform things and
Yep.
all of that. So I would imagine that would probably be like a big good like headline thing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Lots of fire too. Lots
Yeah,
of fire.
lots of fire.
Which-
Fire is cool. Once you
Fire-
get to
fire
a point
good.
where you can have some fire, oh, fire good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fire's awesome.
I feel like that's how you know you made it. You got
Oh
like
yeah,
your
you got the
stage is
special
on fire.
effects going on.
Right.
You
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah. It's like
You got
you have
giant-
X's on them. You got X's on the ground. Like, don't stand here at 20 minutes and 15 seconds into the set because it's gonna shoot a fireball.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
You've made it.
All right. With that, we got one more question before we go to a quick break. If you could give our listeners a piece of advice that you know now that you wish you knew when you were first starting your musical journey, what would that be?
Make friends. Make as many friends as you can. Not in the sense that like, oh well, if I make this connection with somebody, I can go talk to this person who's bigger than they are, more famous than they are. Like make genuine relationships because people can definitely tell when you're just using them and they're not going to want to hang out with you anymore and they're not going to want to talk to you because they're just going to say, oh, that person every time they text me, they just want me to do something for them. Like make genuine relationships with people and actually care about how they're doing, care about their lives. And if you don't really want to have a relationship with this person, but they know somebody famous, like don't do that to this person. Like be nice to them, obviously, but like if you
Right.
don't really care to know them, like don't just use that person.
Right.
Because like really this industry is so small and you'd be surprised by how many people know each other and you're doing something kind out of like the genuineness of your heart and not because you'll receive anything from it does so much more than like you accidentally using somebody or like even worse like purposely using somebody
100%.
but yeah, relationships are so much more important than any fame you could ever get.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't agree more.
Same.
I definitely know a bunch of people that do things like that. I know people that talk to me like that regularly. But, you know, what can you do? You know, just
Yeah.
be nice. Just be nice.
Yeah.
And with that, being nice, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our next segment. Today's episode is sponsored by Chattanooga Beard Company. Are you looking for a quality company to help sexify your beard? Turn it up to 11. Take it to a whole new level. I have tried lots of other products over the many years it's taken to grow these luscious face locks. And then I tried Chattanooga Beard Company, and I kid you not, it changed my beard's life. Their products are made from quality ingredients like sweet almond oil, jojoba oil, coconut oil, beeswax, lanolin, and shea butter. I have at home their shampoo and their conditioner, 2 different scented beard balms, 1838, which is wood, amber, and grapefruit, and church warden, which is pipe tobacco and wild cherries and freedom. I also have 2 of their beard oils, clean slate, which is bergamot and lime, and iron forged, which smells like coffee and chocolate, and you just want to eat it. My wife loves the smell of their clean slate oil. It's been a game changer. You don't have to take my word for it, because who am I other than the lovely looking man with this lovely looking beard? Try it for yourself. Just go to www.chattanoogabeard.co and snag any of these products or one of their other many scents and styles. And as a bonus, if you use our code Unsigned Pop Punk at checkout, you're going to get 15% off your order. So if you love your beard, or you love someone with a beard, try out Chattanooga Beard Company. You won't be mad you did.
All right, welcome back, guys. We're here with Magdalene Rose. Thank you for sitting tight through our little break. We're hopping into our food for thought segment. This is where we talk about food, and everyone loves food.
Yeah.
So what is your go-to gas station snack while on tour?
Okay, so you definitely have to go to the slushy machines, but if they're like not the ices or like icy consistency, it's a no-go. So like, I don't like slush puppies. They've got to be like icy material. Like
Right.
so like ices, and then you got to go for the candy section. My favorite candy bar is 100 grand. They're like kind of old people candy, but I love them. So like 100 grand, and then like the baked
Dude,
Lay's chips. I love the
100
texture.
grands are great.
They're goated, and people
They are.
sleep on them.
Right.
The funny thing is the last episode we recorded was for our Halloween episode. So it was like last week.
Mhm.
And one of the questions we talked about was like, what's the most underrated candy? And then like they all talked and everybody talked and talked and talked. And I was like, dog, look, Payday and 100
Ooh,
grand.
yeah,
Everybody forgets about those two.
Yeah.
they do. They fly under the radar, and
Mhm.
sometimes I try to keep it that way on purpose because I'm afraid they'll sell out if they don't. But
Right. Right.
I think my favorite candy bar, like this isn't you know, you can't get this for Halloween minis or nothing, but my favorite candy bar ever is a whatchamacallit.
ooh, those are
Ooh.
actually really good.
I
Those
haven't had one
also
of those
get slept
in
on.
eternity. Like
Yeah.
it's funny you say that because I forgot those existed until you mentioned them. But now that I remember it, when I was younger, I loved those things. I would eat those things up like crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything that's like everything thrown together, covered in chocolate, it's gonna be good. Like,
Right. It's just the recipe for success.
yeah.
Agreed. Um, or when it's discontinued now, which is an atrocity. But when Butterfinger made Butterfinger cups,
What?
dude,
Yep, I remember that.
they were like Reese's peanut butter cups, but they were Butterfinger, and and I like a Reese's peanut butter cup like a lot.
Yeah.
Butterfinger cup though was goated. Like seriously,
Huh.
significantly better than a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I did not know this existed.
And they're gone. You'll never
They're
get
gone.
one.
I'll never have the chance.
Maybe someday.
Maybe
Maybe
someday.
someday we'll be
I was
lucky.
born at the wrong
If I
time.
keep just like Surge, when they made their comeback, if I just
Oh
keep
yeah.
pushing it, if I keep pushing their buttons on this podcast, because I have mentioned it multiple times.
It's gonna happen, Pat. It's gonna happen.
Butterfingers just can't stop watching our podcast. Like,
Right.
okay,
All right, fine.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
you got it. Man.
Why does our AI keep tagging us in this podcast?
That's fair.
They don't even talk about food.
Yeah, they're always talking about, Butterfinger cups and their Butterfinger BBs. All right. So you had mentioned earlier you lived in Florida and Tennessee. So
Mhm.
I saw that you're from Tennessee, and immediately this brought up like a memory for me. So one of my like best friends, he grew up in Tennessee. All right.
Okay.
He would always talk to us about this legendary best soda
Mm.
called Dr. Enough.
Doctor Enough?
Okay, so you sound very much like you have never had a Dr. Enough yet.
No.
Okay, so it is like a Tennessee like staple apparently.
What? I need to
And
look for it now.
let me kind of pop this up. Like I don't even remember It's like Doctor Enough, like ENUF.
What?
Yeah. You can get
I
them
gotta
on
look this up now too.
Amazon, apparently. Um,
Huh.
I've I don't know if I've ever had one.
I've never heard of it. I've had like Dr. Thunder before. I feel
Yeah,
like that's
but this is not like that. It's not like a dark soda. It's like a Mountain Dew.
what?
Yeah. Or like a Sprite or something. I don't know.
That's
But it
so
is
interesting.
I'm trying to see if it'll tell us. Oh, I'm on the Soda Pop Bros website right now.
I'm on the
Um,
Wikipedia page for it right now.
it's a lemon live flavored drink.
That's
And
so
they
strange.
but it's not like Sprite or 7 Up, it says. It's
Hmm.
fortified with several water soluble vitamins. Its marketing slogan is enough is enough.
Mm.
So
I'm so curious
when you get
now.
back to Tennessee, you're gonna have to like find yourself some Dr. Enough.
I'm gonna go on a search for it. If I have to order it from Amazon, I'll order it from Amazon.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have to let me know what you think about it.
Yeah,
Is it the superior lemon lime soda that it claims to be?
we'll have to put it to the test. Because I am a Sprite and Sierra Mist girly. I do love a good lemon lime soda, so
There you go.
Then
I'll have to put it to the test.
I might have just like opened your world right now.
Yeah, you might have just changed everything. Changed the
just
game for me,
just
potentially.
changed everything. Um,
This is all like news to me. I'm just taking this all in right now. This whole exchange is fantastic.
you've never heard of Doctor Enough either?
No, no. I mean, the impression I get is it's like a localized like Tennessee surge that kind of just like like
Yeah.
yeah. I've never heard of
So
it. I mean, I'm
he
not that far from Tennessee, so well, far enough, I suppose. Far enough that would make a difference, but
you're in Wisconsin, dude.
yeah,
you
true.
are you are not close to Tennessee.
You know what? You know, you're right. My geography was off.
I mean, maybe like 10 hours.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, geography is not my strong suit today.
I'm
Tomorrow it
like,
might be.
I'm just sitting there. I was, I was just trying to think. I'm like,
Well, I'm thinking like it's I mean, like Culver's, for example, is like spread way past like Wisconsin, so it's like one of those things where yeah, I could potentially see it being here, but I haven't.
I think the Doctor Enough is only in Tennessee. Like, I think I could be very wrong though. But Brett, do you have like I wrote this down. Do you got any ideas? Otherwise, I got something I could whip out, but I just wrote
I was gonna say have at her. Yeah, I see
okay.
that. I see your note here, and I'm like, all right, well, he knows what that means because I definitely don't.
So on our shared Google Doc, I wrote Florida food question. Just and
Just
so basically what I was gonna do, what I was gonna say, uh, is for anyone coming through. So where were you from in Florida?
I was from Jacksonville, so like northeast Florida.
Yes, perfect. Okay, because normally it's like Orlando, all those. Jacksonville, a little less common. Okay, perfect. For anyone coming through Jacksonville,
Hmm.
what would you say, like in your personal opinion, not just like what's hot, what's popping, your go-to? What would you say is like a must stop food place for anyone coming through the area?
We have a really good like Asian subdivision in
Okay.
Jacksonville because
All
there
right.
it is like a port town. And so we have a bunch of just people from all over the world that live
Sure.
there.
Hmm.
And so there's a really good dim sum place
Nice.
And I think it's literally just called dim sum. That place is really good.
Gets the point across.
It's just straightforward, and the food is so good there. They have all the different types of dim sum and like all the buns and stuff. And then there is a revolving Korean barbecue and hot pot restaurant, and I think it's just called K Hot Pot. Like they're very straightforward names.
Yeah, they're
but
just
that's how you know they're going to be good.
Right.
No one's trying to hide what they are, you know?
No. And like it's so much fun. You get to go, you have like all the little places with your little broth, your little soup. They have the little grill in the middle of the table, and then there's just a conveyor belt of all the foods you could want, and you just pull it off the conveyor belt, and like you can cook it for yourself. Some people get upset because you have to like cook your own food, but like that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah,
And
that's what
I
you
think it's
go
very
there
fun.
for.
Like
Right.
I'm going there knowing I'm going to be cooking my own food, but
it's not the same thing. Yeah.
It's not the same at all.
Yeah.
I think those are my two, like, you've got to go there because the food is really good, but it's also just a super fun experience.
Yeah.
For both of the places.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. That's where we're going when we go to Florida next time.
Deal. All this food talk, man. I'm getting hungry. This is the worst. I just ate and I'm hungry again.
That is the worst part of the food for thought segment.
Right.
If you don't leave this podcast feeling a little hungry, we have not done our job.
Right. And speaking of food, if you were a potato, what kind of potato would you be?
My immediate thought was waffle fry, like sweet potato waffle fry.
I like it.
But I also want to lean more towards like the curly fries with like the Cajun seasoning and stuff.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd be something with a little flavor.
Yeah. Why curly fry then? What's the significance?
I have curly hair, but I think that's not it. I like that they just are like, they're resilient. Let them go deep. They're resilient.
It's true.
They bounce back to life, but no, I think it's probably just the curly hair in me that was like, oh, curly fries, curly hair.
Hey, but look, they are resilient. It can be that you have curly hair. That's okay too. But like, you're right though. Those curly fries, like they crisp up like no other. But
they're so good.
But they can also be soft and tender.
There you go. They've learned how to protect themselves, but they can have that tender side to them as well.
And they're spicy.
And they got a little spice to them. If you're not careful, you get a little too much spice.
Mm-hmm.
No such thing.
No such thing.
No such thing.
Yeah. I think curly fry was a good pick.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did it. You did it for sure. All right, that's it for the food for thought segment. Now we're heading on to our rapid fire questions.
Friendships will be tested. Rapid fire questions.
This is it. This is the last part of it. So you're just gonna speak from the heart. You're gonna shoot from the hip. Whatever the first thing pops into your head, you just go for it.
All right.
Also, just as a newcomer to the show, if one of the two options is not the first thing that pops into your head, say what it is.
Say what it is. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Monster Energy or Rockstar?
Monster. The white one, though. Only the white one.
Yeah. I like any... no, okay, not any, but many of those ultra flavors.
Oh, yeah. The ultra line is the good one, yeah.
Right.
I won't drink anything outside of the ultra line.
Yeah, ultra's where it's at for me. Or like the juice or like the tea flavors. Like those ones I like too. Those are...
Except if you're not careful, they'll hurt your teeth sometimes. I don't know if that's just like a me thing, but sometimes they hurt my teeth.
I can't do the rehabs anymore.
Mm.
Let me get off topic here.
Please.
So, in 2012, all right, I was out on Warp Tour.
Okay.
Monster was a sponsor. So every day you would
Mm.
get cases of Monster. Cases. All right. And um most of the time it was just rehab. It was
Mm.
always fucking because it's okay. It hydrates you,
Right.
right? It's
Yeah.
tea. And between staying up all day and then driving to the next place,
Yeah.
I would consume 5 to 6 rehabs a day.
Oh my God, dude.
It's so sandy.
And I did that for like 2 months.
Oh my goodness.
I can't drink the rehabs anymore.
They just all the memories come flooding back.
Yeah.
We hit a nerve.
Yeah. It's like I get heart palpitations just thinking about it, you know? Oh,
He can't be seen in the same room.
yeah. Like there is literally a picture of me somewhere out there. Okay, I know I was freezing up there. So there's a picture of me with like a pallet case of rehab in the passenger seat and me driving. Like
Oh my goodness.
with just cracking them open. Oh. It was intense. Yes.
Zoinks.
Zoinks for sure. Okay. Back on to rapid fire.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So, pop punk or emo?
Pop punk.
Nice.
All right.
Taylor Swift or John Mayer?
Oh, I'm gonna go Taylor Swift.
As you should.
Right. All right. Skinny jeans or baggy pants?
I've moved to baggy pants. I've made the move.
Nice. Like baggy jeans? Are you going back to like Jinkos?
I was gonna say
type thing?
Jinkos.
Oh, those are tight, dude.
It leans a little bit towards Jenkos, not quite that baggy, but it's like a halfway point.
Right. That's fair. I went from baggy pants to skinny jeans back to now we're like half and half.
Yeah. I think it's a happy medium, like kind of like cargo pants, kind of. And like they've got that vibe to them a little bit, but
Nice.
Right.
I'm just wearing like, I went back to like my baggy Dickies.
oh, there you go. Yeah, those are good too.
It's just so comfortable.
Yeah.
Disney Plus or Netflix?
Disney Plus, except I really don't want to go on a roller coaster and die.
All right.
Stuffed crust or deep dish pizza?
Stuffed crust.
The superior pizza.
Yeah.
Vans or Converse?
Vans for sure.
All right.
Oh, sorry, Pat. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. All right.
All right. All American Rejects or The Offspring?
Offspring.
Nice. Good. So, have you listened to their new album?
Not yet. I need to.
I keep asking people. This is not a sponsor. It's just I really enjoy it. I think it's really good. I've listened to it like 5 times. It's good. It's classic Offspring.
Okay. That's awesome.
It's good stuff. That's it though. You did it. You finished the podcast.
Survived.
You survived because we were super brutal.
Right.
But now's your chance. Let everybody know what you got going on, where they can find you, and what's next.
Yeah, so like we said earlier, I'm currently on tour right now with Seventh Day Slumber and Disciple. It goes until the end of November, so you can check all my social media to find out those dates. My social media is official Magdalene Rose. It's the same on everything. I run everything, so if you want to shoot me a message, want to hang out, talk online, I'm the one answering. I would love to answer, love to talk to you. We have new music in the works, so definitely stay following me for all those announcements because they will hopefully be coming soon. Gotta have some talks with the official and the higher ups to figure that out, but everything will be posted on my social media the second I find out. So definitely go follow me there and let's hang out.
Hell yeah.
Excellent.
Go to a show.
Right.
Get out there.
Support live music.
Support. Maggie, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, that's it. This has been another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go, a podcast about life in the music industry, and we'll see you on Monday. Thank you so much for checking out the show. Please hit that like, subscribe, or follow button so you never miss an episode. And thank you to those who already are. Please rate and review the show to help the show be found by new people. And if you're in the position to help us grow, head on over to our website where you can find merch, our Patreon, and other ways that you can help at www.unsignedpoppunk.com. Let us know in the comments who else you'd like to see on the show and what other content you would like to see. Thank you so much for spending your time with us.